Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. I hope everyone's doing okay. I know the whole world's crazy at the moment, but Western Australia, we are working on a 4-stage process in most of Australia, but certainly Western Australia, whereby we're moving one step at a time back to normality. We're in stage 2 at the moment, which means we can gather in groups of 20, I think it is, for sporting events or sports things, and so gyms can sort of reopen, private gyms and things. Still, everyone's got to keep the hygiene and stuff like that, hand hygiene, but it's slowly moving back to a normal sort of life cycle. We lost, I think, 8 people to COVID-19 in Western Australia, which isn't many. I think we've got about 4.5–5 million people in the whole of Western Australia. Given the size of it, that's not a lot. But we lost, I think, 8 people. There was thousands infected, and I think we only have 7 or 8 active cases now of actual active have got it and haven't recovered. So I think that's testament to how our local government dealt with it and how our main government dealt with it in Australia. I think people are still catching it in other states. It's still happening. It's not a major thing compared to other places like the UK and America. But I think we dealt with it so well that Western Australia is almost non-existent at the moment. It's so few and far between, and no new cases are coming out every day. No cases. It's incredible, really, when you look at places like Europe and the UK and America, and it went crazy. So Celtics won the league, brilliant, 9 in a row. I don't care what anyone tells me. If they win it next year, it's 10 in a row, whether Rangers were there or not, because Rangers are shit anyway. But there we have it. Today's shave is going to be Zingari Man Sago shaving soap formula, the Wanderer Barbershop. I love this scent. It's a beautiful barbershop powdery scent with a little, like a lemon sort of cookie cream type scent to it. It's beautiful. It's really nice. So I'm just going to wet my face. I've just used the soap and this razor as well for my head shave and the brush, and it was excellent. The whole shave was excellent. I didn't finish my head shave with this razor. But it was a cracking head shave. BBS, no problems at all. The brush I'm using, I've got soaking here, is a Rhodium Knots brush, a Rhodium brush. This one is a collaboration between Serjan Danicic, who makes Rhodium Knots. He hand ties these knots in the Australian Capital Territory over here in Australia, and his sister, who owns and operates G-Point Ceramics, who make these handles. Now, I didn't think I would enjoy these handles. I like the look of them, but the more I use this handle and these ceramic handles, the more I start to like them. They're very well made. They've got a unique thing about them. You know, it's a bit like the purple haze resins and things like that. You know, that everyone is different no matter what. You can never have two the same. I like that in products. It makes them unique to you, unique to the person that made them, unique to everyone. And I like that. I think that's a great thing to have. Not only that, they're also, this brush in particular is completely eco-friendly. I know badgers died to make the knot, but the hair is biodegradable. It will break down in natural places. The handle is pottery. It's made with clay, which is essentially dirt. The glaze, I'm not sure obviously on the glaze and stuff like that, but I think pretty much this whole handle that's made by G-Point Ceramics is all biodegradable and eco-friendly. I don't know whether it's reusable or not, but I think if you chucked it underground for a long time it would just merge into the ground. I don't know how it would work, but now I'm going to load this brush heavy here because I didn't put enough soap into my head shave, into the brush for the head shave, and the lather suffered. The performance of the soap didn't, but the lather suffered. So let's show you how this knot really works, and let's show you how Zingari Man really works. Oh, there's one here. It's a short one, so I'm assuming it's snapped off. I don't think that one's come out of the glue bump. It's been well soaked, this brush, and to be fair, that was quite a heavy load, so just scoop out the excess from the tub, which looks like it's a fair little bit. Just clean the soap off. Stick it to the side, nice and clean, and it can start drying while I lather up and do the shave. So I've been in touch with Sir Jan. He's been telling me about this knot for a while now. This is a 3-band silver tip. So the one that I have is a 2-band silver tip. It's his biggest seller. It's got beautiful beautiful sop, know what I mean? It's got beautiful soft tips, the 2-band. However, this one is a silver tip as well. It has got treated tips, but it's finer hairs. So it feels softer on the face, on the skin, but it's still got tons of scrub. Now, I'll be honest and say I don't think Sir Jan is going to release this knot in its present state, and the reason being is that he found it difficult making this knot because the hairs are so fine to actually get the glue to hold all the fibres together. So essentially it's got a much higher risk of shedding. Every knot's got a risk of shedding. You've seen the brushes I've had. My Rhodium was shedding for a while and it appears to have stopped now. I've got 3 shaves I think in a row. I've lost 1 hair, maybe no hairs, I can't remember. I'm just dipping the brush in the water here. Just painting some water in before I splay. I'm going to splay now because I think you can see that's pretty much translucent all the way over. There we go. Now, the face feel is beautiful. It's got a very big splay. It's a very dense knot. It's got amazing face feel. The only thing I will say about it, I think this handle is just a little bit too small for such a big knot because it creates a lot of lather. And the flow through work on Sir Jan's knot so well. So you end up with a lot of salt pouring out of the sides down here while you're lathering. Zingari Man, this stuff's brilliant. Look at it go. So as I was saying there, you can see the flow through is starting to work. So it's flowing through the base of the knot, which is what you want, but when your handle's so small and it's made out of ceramic and it's slippy, it's a recipe for disaster in some cases. This is going to be a super ladder, like, I mean, holy smokes. I think I've made Quark's ears from Star Trek. I wonder if anyone remembers Quark. I think it was Quark. I might have got it wrong now. Deep Space Nine. Wow, holy shit. This is absolutely mental. Right, I'm going to stop there. Where are we at? I was actually looking at my timer there thinking 10 minutes, that'll do me. 10 minutes almost. This is phenomenal. This lather is absolutely stunning. It's thick and dense. Look at that. Wow, oh man. Definitely one of my favourite soaps. In fact, it's definitely up there. I mean, the soap base itself is incredible, but look at that. I totally get it, Jack, I get it, mate. Working with quality products makes you feel good, it does. There's no doubt about it. Driving a quality car would make you feel better than driving a shit car. This soap makes me feel better than using Derby, by a long shot. So does this razor, to be fair. Right, this is the Wolfman WR1 pre-branding razor. So this is one of his razors before he got big enough and started scribing his names and everything in. It's all aluminium. It's quite a chunky handle. It's got a very slim, this is the WR1 head. Just got a bit of hair in there from a head shave. Let me just clean that out. In the open comb side. There we go. So as you can see, I mean, this is thin aluminium. There is the blade today. The blade is a, got it the right way, super iridium extra stainless. Now this is a Wizamet blade, originally made in Poland, bought out by Procter & Gamble or Gillette, and moved to Russia, where they're now manufactured under Procter & Gamble and Gillette, or Gillette, Procter & Gamble, whatever you want to call them, same company. So here we go, open comb side first for this pass, and then I'll finish the whole shave off with the solid bar. It's 0.61 blade gap, and this is far superior shave. This is a far superior shave to the WR1 that Surjan previously sent me. So this is Surjan's razor, and it was 0.67 blade gap, and this is just total different ball game. The feedback from it, now I've got less than 24 hours growth, I've got about 20 hours growth here. The feedback yesterday was incredible, so let's see what it sounds like with even less growth. Open comb first. And I have to be honest and say, I think I might have found my favourite blade. Now this blade has now done a full face shave yesterday and a full first pass on a head shave today, and now on a face shave again, and it feels like a brand spanking new, buttery smooth, sharp Gillette. Now one thing I will say about it is it does not hold the blade rigid, or as rigid as the carve razor, the aluminium carve razor. So as such, just little bits like that. Almost feels like it's tugging, but it's not. It's actually blade chatter. The blade's flexing a little bit as I'm pulling on the hair. So albeit it's still smooth and comfortable, it's not an uncomfortable razor to use. Every now and then it just hooks on and doesn't slice through cleanly like the carve would. And I know the carve does it because it's so rigid, it holds the blade even in the aluminium version. But this is very manoeuvrable, it's very easy, it's so light. I think it looks fantastic, I think the handle's great. I'm trying to think what the handle was on that, on the razor that Surjan sent me. I'll just do a bit of jack, just, you know, and then you can talk normal again when you do that. And then you do that, and then you can talk normal again. I can take the piss out of me. In all fairness, I really enjoyed the video that Jack put out. I think given my current circumstances, my mental strength, my mental health and all the other shit that's going on in life at the moment, the kids and COVID-19 and just a lot of things going on financially and mentally and emotionally with work and injuries and operations coming up, and also it cheered me up a lot, believe it or not. I really enjoyed it. I think other people did as well. Yeah, it's just a nice genuine fella. The only thing I hold against him is his English heritage. But my wife's English, so I can't hold it against him too much because it might make me look like a prick. Good old Zingari, look at this stuff. Boy. Super slick. I mean, look at the gloss. Now, the only downside at the moment with this razor, and it is a downside, is that it has opened up my eyes again to that I actually like it. I like the shave from it. I could have this in the den in a heartbeat. In fact, I think the surgeon said that I could keep this one. Because he doesn't need it, he uses straight razors. What good's a freaking Wolfman in, really, honestly? I'll trade him for, I've got a Gillette handle up here from a Fusion. I reckon he'd trade for that, surely. In all honesty, thanks surgeon for sending it, it's much appreciated. And this knot is brilliant. And how good is this soap? How good is this soap? It's just off the charts good. That's a second lather, and it's like, I mean, no disrespect to other people, it's like a first lather, and it's not a disrespect thing because your lather is unique to you. It's the way you lather, it's the way you like it. But I find sometimes I get to my third and fourth pass and I've still got a first type of lather, like a first shave lather. Right, I'm going to move on now to the solid bar side. There we go. I don't think I've got any blood, which is a start. Let's look at this. Now that noise is mainly blade chatter. It is feedback because it's making a noise. But the reason that feedback is so prominent is because the blade is chattering. And it's the aluminium that's doing it in the way the head's built. So you can hear that. I'm just going to show you. This is the Carve Christopher Bradley razor with a Gillette Super Stainless spoiler, just to hear the difference in the sound. Still a lot of sound, but can you hear how much more muted it is? It sounds much more like the feedback you get from a stainless razor, and that's because it clamps that blade rock solid. This one doesn't. It holds the blade solid, it just doesn't hold it rock solid so that you don't get that chatter. And the chatter can cause you some issues as well if you're not careful. Blade feel on this is there, but I would say it feels almost like blade feel like the C plate on the Carve. It's like it's there, but you don't really feel it. You know it's there, but you're not feeling it much. It's such a nice razor to use. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised, and I'm very happy that he sent me it, because I'll be honest with you, I would never have bought a Wolfman ever, given my first experience with it, the one that Surgeon sent originally with a 0.67 blade gap. Same head, and there's only 0.06 of a difference in the blade gap. I don't know whether the exposures and stuff have changed, the actual blade exposure since in that time, but This razor is a better shaver for me, and it's also in the mould of a lighter razor, which is exactly how I like my razors, nice and light. I keep checking for hairs anyway, it's just a habit at the moment I think. But none lost. That little half one at the beginning and that's it. Nothing else, no full hairs, nothing else has come out of this knot. So it certainly stands up. Look at that. I mean, the great thing is, knowing this now, if I was to buy a Wolfman ever, I would buy an aluminium one. I think against the grain it's beautiful, it's nice and lightweight. You can't really go wrong. Let's see how it feels. This is a third use blade now against the grain. Fantastic. It's not as nice to use as the Calf. But I still really like it, I really enjoy it. And it is a razor that was my shaving grail razor. It was the razor I wanted from the day I started weight shaving. I seen a Wolfman, I thought that's the razor I want. So I think to finally use one that ticks the boxes and it feels good and it looks nice, it's quite nice, it's exciting for me. Now granted, I won't be going out and buying a Wolfman like that because I can't afford one, but if the opportunity arises and it's the right time for me, would I now go out and buy one? I certainly would. In this configuration. I certainly wouldn't buy anything with a bigger blade gap given the blade feel you get from the Wolfman. But that's 100 times smoother than the previous one I used. It's in a whole different ballpark. Still too much soap on me. It's so slick, this stuff. Other than a few little weepers, that's almost an impeccably flawless shave for me. I've got a little bit of redness on my neck, but I think it's a new razor, I'm still getting used to it. It dies down once I put my AP Reserve serum on, it disappears. The water I'm using to clean the brush out right now is like 80% cold, 20% hot. So it's like there's hardly any heat in it, it's just enough just to break down the oils, I would say, in the silk. It took a little while to clean this out yesterday. And I will air it out now. I'll let it dry for a few days, let it go back to normal, and then see how we go again. See if we lose a few hairs or not. See whether the wet dry process does make a big difference, which I think it will. But so far, between a head shave and a face shave, I lost 1.5 hairs, and I think that's brilliant. I'm happy with that. I would be happy with that if it happened every day like that for me with a Rhodium knot. Dry the handle. It's the only downside to the ceramic handles. They're so glossy and shiny and slippy. If you don't dry it well enough, you'll encounter some issues when you're flicking it. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. It's a very, very nicely proportioned knot to the handle. Oh my god, there was a big crack in the handle there. It's not. There's actually a hair, but I think it's a dog hair. I don't think it's from the brush. I think it came off the towel. Right, what I'm going to do, very gently, 5 strokes, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. That was real gentle, like just barely touching it, just to try. I keep thinking that's one that's coming out, but it's not. It's actually just slightly longer than the rest of the hairs. Right, I'm going to finish off now with some AP Reserve Essentials Peptide Concentrate Serum. Just wet my hands. That is the serum, and I'm just going to pop 1 square, like so. And really, they don't really come much better than that for me. It all comes down to looks and scents at the end of the day for me now. You know, the knot, there's not really many better knots on the market. Razor wise, that's one of the best I've used, that Wolfman, but then a little bit with the carve, which is the best I've used. The blade, I think if it continues the way it is, and it feels like that in different razors, especially the carve and the leaf, the Wizamet Super Iridiums will probably go to the top of my list. Gillette Made still, which is my favourite blades, always have been. But those ones just feel extra smooth. They're really, really nice. Zingari Man Sago Shaving Soap, the Wanderer Barbershop. The scent is incredible. The performance of it is incredible. Post shave is brilliant. Obviously, I put on a post shave serum. But I can walk away. I know I've done my head and it feels great. I know I can walk out the door now and there's enough moisturisation of my skin to not worry about it, and irritation and things like that, and dry skin. And with that, I think, am I done? Am I done? I'll just show you that again because I think that looks brilliant. Rhodium knot set in a G-point handle. Brilliant. It really is. I think it's better. So far, just based on the uses of it, I haven't compared it and used it with the other brush. I think that's better than the 2-band silver tip, which is very, very high praise, I think. And with that, stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.